So when we have a diet high in saturated fats, high in sodium, high in refined sugars, refined flours, white rice. So white sugar, white rice, white flour, that plays a huge role in destroying your immune system. Why? Remember I said you need all those nutrients in order to run the food through the energy cycles? Well, when you're eating white sugar, white rice, white flour, where are the nutrients you need to run it through the energy cycles? They're not there. They're gone. So white sugar, white rice, and white flour, they don't have the nutrients that you need to run it through the energy cycles. So where's the body going to get it from? Your bone marrow and your bone. Your bone and your bone marrow is your body's immune system's reserve tank. And so when we eat cookies, cake, ice cream, all these fats, all these oils that don't have the nutrients in them, pasta, pizza, you name it, that's what we have been eating every single day of our lives from the day we were born. So when those nutrients aren't in there, the body's got to do something with it, so it starts drawing off its own reserves. And your bone and your bone marrow is your reserve tank for your immune system. So over time, you continue to deplete and deplete and deplete and deplete until there's no immune system left. There's no mistake that as a chiropractor, I can take anyone today, 55, 60 years old, and take an x-ray of them, and they have osteoporosis. Why do they have osteoporosis? For this very reason. They've been depleting and depleting and depleting their body over time using refined foods, or artificially stimulating the immune system, or artificially stimulating the body with caffeine. Caffeine too runs energy cycles. When you drink coffee, right, or you drink Coke, soda, whatever, you're stimulating energy cycles which require what? Nutrients. Remember I said you need nutrients to run things through the energy cycle. So what's happening is we're depleting our bodies over time. I have cancer. You have cancer. We all have cancer. But there comes a point where the body no longer can keep it in check. And that's when its immune system has been depleted. So in order to restore the body to human health, requires 20 pounds of organic fruits and vegetables every single day. That's why these other clinics, they're never going to cure advanced cancer with any kind of consistency whatsoever, if any. Because they're not addressing the underlying issue that caused it in the first place. So imagine how miraculous it is that for 50, 60, 70 years, you can completely destroy the immune system by depleting it. And within 2 years, you can completely restore it. That's called mercy. No? That's God's mercy. That you can destroy your body for 60, 70 years and absolutely restore it within 2 by doing the Gerson therapy. It's brilliant. It's incredible. So that is how you heal the human body. If you ever read Dr. Gerson's book, he talks about metabolism, metabolism, metabolism. Metabolism is the breakdown of food into energy. That requires certain conditions. Those conditions we've explained, which are restore the charge at the level of the cell membrane, the fats that go into your diet. Get rid of the acidity generated from years of poor diet. Acidity being pH, potential hydrogen, the buildup of hydrogen in the body. Saturated fats are saturated with hydrogen. The only way to neutralize that is raw fruits and vegetables, which produce the hydroxyl ions, OH negative alkaline ions. They react, H2O, restore the charge at the level of the cell membrane. That way as well. And you neutralize any acidity running through the body as well with all this diet. You get rid of sodium completely. You bombard the body with potassium. to restore the internal structure and integrity of the cell so that the mitochondria inside the cell can properly convert food into energy. Like I said, that literally is biochemistry 101. When I was in chiropractic school, I learned that basic cellular science in my first month of class. They just never were able to explain the underlying health implications of it all. And Gerson unraveled that. He was able to unravel all of that. So now we've taken the body and we've now created the proper environment that you can begin creating energy on a cellular level. And we restore the body's ability to accept oxygen into the cell because you convert sugar into energy only when oxygen is present. If oxygen isn't present because of acidity, what happens? It doesn't get broken down into energy. It goes through another cycle, and it gets broken down into lactic acid. So if you don't have oxygen available to your cells because of poor diet, then any sugar you're consuming gets broken down into lactic acid, which is what feeds cancer. What's lactic acid from? It's fermentation. So when you hear that cancer is a fermentative process, that's why. Cancer survives in a non-oxygenated, fermentative environment. And it's only when you restore the body's ability to oxygenate that you release that burden and the body starts producing energy again. So, once we've now created the environment within your bodies to restore the energy capacity, what do we do to you? Put you on the beamer, put you in a hyperbaric chamber. Some of you are getting ultraviolet blood irradiation with ozone. You can take ozone and insert it rectally. When you go home and you're doing your coffee enemas, you can bubble ozone into your enema while it's going in. So you're getting oxygen that way. So these are the ways now that you can oxygenate your body now that we've prepared the body's ability to accept that oxygen. Because remember, 1931. Don't forget that date. 1931. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for proving cancer can't survive in an oxygenated environment. Now the irony of that is that for 20 years prior, a man named Dr. Max Gerson already had a therapy completely demonstrating that very fact. The other irony is, you know where Otto Warburg won his Nobel Prize from? Freiburg, Germany. Do you know where Dr. Gerson lived? Freiburg, Germany. I would not be surprised if Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize riding on the back of Dr. Gerson's knowledge. They all knew each other. Einstein, Rudolf Steiner from Waldorf. You heard of Waldorf schools, Rudolf Steiner. Dr. Gerson's daughter, Charlotte, she was taught by Rudolf Steiner. He's the one who actually educated her. So they all knew each other back then. So Freiburg was where Gerson went to school and ultimately practiced. He practiced in Bielefeld as well. And Otto Warburg was in Freiburg. They knew each other. And Gerson already had a therapy for 20 years prior that demonstrated what Warburg won the Nobel Prize for. So, I'm only surmising, I'm not accusing, right? I'm only surmising. But this is the secret to the Gerson therapy. The body's ability to oxygenate tissues, which is your metabolism. Again, obesity is the primary cause of cancer. Metabolism, right? So anyway, I think they're going past again here. What else can we talk about? Do you have any questions?
Yeah. The avocado.
Yes.
It's fat.
That's exactly right. great question. No avocados on the Gerson therapy. Why? Is it because avocados are really bad for you? No, they're a perfect food for a healthy person. Avocados are high in saturated fat. Avocado oil. Like when I buy a salad dressing in the stores, I'll buy an avocado oil because I don't want canola oil or soybean oil. I'll buy one, if one has sunflower oil, I'll usually buy that one. But if it doesn't, I'll buy an avocado oil. But avocado oil is high in saturated fat. That's why Gerson eliminated avocados. What else did he eliminate? Nuts and seeds. Why? Because they're high in saturated fats, a lot of them. Another reason why is because they're too hard for a digestive tract to break down. If you're sick, your digestive tract is sick. We know 70% of the immune system is in the digestive tract. So if you're sick, your digestive tract is sick. So a lot of the foods Gerson eliminated were related to that as well. They weren't easy for a cancer patient to digest. That's why you do not put a cancer patient on an all-raw diet. Gerson understood that instinctively because an all-raw diet would wreak havoc on the digestive tract. Your meals are cooked, and they're cooked thoroughly. Why? Because cooking is a form of pre-digestion. And so it facilitates the body's ability, in your case, to break down the food. If we gave you raw food, do you know how difficult the actual raw fiber and stuff is to break down? Even for a healthy person, if you were to eat that much raw food, it'd probably be a little bit difficult. Gerson did understand, Dr. Gerson did understand that you needed raw fruits and vegetables in the form of juices. You okay? So anyway, the raw fruits and vegetables in the form of juices, they enter your bloodstream almost as quickly as alcohol does. And so they require little to no energy in order to do their work in your body. To eat a raw diet, the amount of energy and time required for the body to extract the food, break down the fiber, it's not efficient. And Gerson understood that. And you have people out there, natural doctors, telling you got to go on an all-raw diet. They don't know. All right? So this is it. You reestablish the body's ability to oxygenate tissues only with an alkaline diet. You restore the body's capacity to convert food into energy. Energy rallies the immune system, right? And then that's it. We bombard your body with the oxygen therapies. No point in bombarding your body with the oxygen therapies if you're eating an acidic diet. What's the point? You're doing twice the work, getting half the results, right? So this is it. Tomorrow we're going to go through the supplement protocol, okay? And you're going to see the science behind each supplement that you're taking. And there's no mystery behind any of them. Here comes our juices. So, There's no water on the cancer therapy because these are 90% water. These are literally 90% water, if not more. And Dr. Gerson wanted to save that space. He wanted to save that space for the juices. If you're drinking water throughout the day and then someone hands you a juice, you're not going to have room for the juice. Okay? So that's the reason why. All right? I guess we could talk about a few other things, like, I think we were talking at the dinner table last night. What are some of the causes of cancer today? We were talking about estrogen. Estrogen is one of the primary causes of cancers today in the reproductive arena. So breast, ovarian, cervical, uterine, prostate in men, those are all typically estrogen driven. Estrogen is everywhere in our environment today. Estrogen therapy in postmenopausal women or the birth control pill, the side effects we know are cancer. Why? What are they? They're estrogen, right? They're estrogen. Well, where else are you getting estrogens from? Everywhere. Everywhere. Where can we start? Let's start with cosmetics, perfumes. Those are loaded with estrogens. Anything that has an artificial aroma, soaps, shampoos, detergents, perfumes, creams, the things you plug into your wall to make your house smell nice, your scented candles, anything with an artificial aroma is loaded with what are called xenoestrogens. Xeno means foreign, or in other words, they're artificial. These artificial aromas are 10 times more volatile than the natural estrogens that are in our environment. Those things are cancer monsters. So anything you have in your environment that you're putting on, in, around your body that has artificial aromas and artificial chemicals, obviously, you get them out. 100%.
Dopamine, incense as well.
Incense. No kidding. You know, people who use a lot of incense, they end up with so many like lung and esophageal cancers. Okay, so that's that. All the artificial aromas. Where else are we getting estrogen from? Plastics, styrofoam, petroleum. Petroleum are estrogen mimics. They're the same. So car exhaust, oil, whatever. Gasoline, right? Those are all estrogens. Where else do we get estrogen from? Diet. So our body naturally produces hormones. That's part of its job. Do you know what the body uses to produce hormones? Cholesterol. The human body produces hormones with cholesterol. So if you have a diet high in fat and cholesterol, all the things we mentioned, what's the body going to do with that? It's got to do something with it. It's going to start to produce massive amounts of excess hormones, particularly estrogens. Okay? That's how the body produces hormones. So if you're increasing the cholesterol pool, the body's naturally got to do something with it, so it's going to produce excess hormones. That's why if you have estrogen-driven cancers, which are the reproductive cancers for the most part, then you have to completely eliminate the risk of producing your own estrogens. That's why this therapy is so successful. Because you're not getting a high cholesterol diet on this therapy. So you're cutting off the body's ability to produce estrogen in excess quantities, clearly. Okay? So estrogen is one of the primary causes of disease today. What's one of the other primary causes of disease today? What? Stress. Why? Because it disrupts hormonal systems, that's one reason. But the main reason is simple. What did we just spend an hour talking about? Energy. That's why if you don't rest mind, body, and spirit, you're not going to heal. The brain requires more energy than anything to heal. So if you're stressed and frantic and doing whatever, you're not going to heal. When a dog is sick, what does it do? It eats, it drinks, and it sleeps. That's all it does. And so Gerson, he instinctively understood if you didn't rest, you wouldn't heal. And that's mind, body, and spirit. So stress today is rampant. My life included. And so we've got to slow down our lives and have to deal with stress better. So we've got estrogen, we've got stress, we've got 5G and 4G, cellular technology. How does the body create energy? Converts sugar into energy using oxygen. What do we know 4G and 5G cannot do, or what it does? It prevents oxygen from binding to hemoglobin. 5G is going to prohibit the body's ability to oxygenate tissues. 4G probably already does that on some level. 5G is going to do it even more. It prevents the body's ability to bind oxygen to hemoglobin, which means you can't properly oxygenate tissues. We've created a mess in this world. And that's why people are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. I've been doing this 23 years. What's coming in now compared to what was coming in 23 years ago, it's like night and day. They're coming in younger and younger and younger. And we're going to go into this tomorrow when we talk about women that bear children. So they're coming in younger and younger and younger with more and more aggressive cancers, more and more rare cancers. It's just getting crazy. And it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. Especially with what's going on now and the agenda behind that. So anyway, every party needs a pooper, right? So, sorry. It's just the reality. And if we can see the reality, we can address it.
I've been using coconut oil to put in the body.
Okay, great. Good question, or good comment. You can't. Yeah, you really can't. And you don't need to. After 2 to 3 months on this therapy, your skin is going to completely transform itself. You really shouldn't be putting coconut oil on your body because it's so high in saturated fats. Now, people will argue that when you put it on the skin, something like that, like when you put chemicals on your skin, that's why patches and stuff, they go right into the bloodstream and they can work as medicine. Some say that when you put something like coconut oil on your body, that because of the fat density, the fat content, that it doesn't permeate all the way down into the bloodstream. I just find that too hard to believe. The skin is so absorbable. And so they say it only goes into the derma or the epidermis, but some say that. Not everyone, but some claim that. I just won't put it on you. You know, there's things like lanolin. Have you heard of lanolin? You might get away with lanolin. Lanolin comes from sheep's wool. It's what keeps sheep waterproof. And so there's products of pure lanolin that are designed to moisturize your skin. I'm not exactly sure what the contents of lanolin are, but I don't think it's fat. I think it's another, natural chemical. So you might be able to get away with that, but you really shouldn't need it. After 2 to 3 months of this, your skin will start to, radiate and be supple and not so dry. Okay?
We talked about essential oils the other day. Can you put them in a diffuser and have them okay, or just don't use them at all?
Nope. No, because you're breathing it in. So the question was essential oils. Lavender, rose, geranium, especially your flower essence, they're typically very high in estrogen. Lavender is extremely high in estrogen. So you can't use it on this therapy.
You break my heart.
I know.
Okay, and so diffusing is just as bad.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
All right.
Frankincense and myrrh are something you might be able to get away with internally. I know people who use it as part of their protocol for cancer. They'll put 2 drops and 3 drops under their tongue every few hours. But that's it.
What about the real lavender? Not the essence. The real one.
Well, if you want some lavender plants, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when you've concentrated lavender oil, you know how many lavender plants give you a 2-ounce bottle of lavender oil?
I do.
Yeah. When you concentrate that, that's high in estrogen.
Okay, but if I just like
You can have a plant, that's fine.
I can have one plant
As much as you want, but you're not going to...
Outside. Can you like cut the flowers and have them inside, or?
That's fine.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right.
Use common sense. When you concentrate lavender into an essential oil, do you know how concentrated that is?
Yeah.
Just use common sense.
That's funny because I actually put a little bit of peppermint in my mask when I went onto the plane, so I could help me relax.
Well, peppermint's better than lavender, I can tell you that. But still, it's highly concentrated stuff. And the liver has to deal with that. And if your liver's already toxic and sick, it's not going to deal with that as well as someone who's healthy.
Yes,
Okay? Well, shea butter's what? It's butter. Yeah, it's butter. What's butter? Saturated fat. Lanolin.
There's no negotiation with you.
No, not me, Dr. Gerson. If Dr. Gerson were here today, you wouldn't get out of bed for the first 8 weeks, other than for your meals. You wouldn't get out of bed. He'd let you come out for your meals. Rest. People say, well, where am I going to get my protein? We have a protein neurosis.
So I just need muscle, keeping the body.
I eat virtually no meat. Very rarely will you see me eat meat.
I'm talking about exercise.
Doesn't matter. I keep my mass from my diet. Where does a horse or a cow, how does a horse or a cow maintain their mass? They're not carnivores. They're eating greens. They're eating grains. They're eating carrots. Apples. That maintains your mass. I will never waste away on the Gerson therapy. I will maintain my perfect mass without exercise. I don't even need to exercise to maintain tone and mass on this diet.
What about your circulation? Blood circulation?
Well, of course, you need to get out and walk around a little bit. I'm just telling you, you do not need to maintain mass exercising or eating meat. This diet will maintain your mass perfectly. That's like weight loss. How can you possibly lose a quarter to a pound a day when you're eating 3,500 calories per day? Do you realize you're getting 3,500 calories per day in food? How much do they tell you, the experts? How many calories do you have to eat a day in order to lose weight? They tell you 1,200 to 1,500 max if you want to lose weight. So how is it possible that on this therapy, you're eating 3,500 calories per day and you're losing a quarter to a pound a day until you become your normal weight? Because it has nothing to do with caloric intake. It has everything to do with creating the environment inside the cell to convert those calories into energy. And that's where all the experts just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't understand the science. And so the way you maintain proper muscle mass is a proper diet. And skin tone is a proper diet. Venous tone. Okay? All that is diet. And then you add raw spirulina to the mix, which is what we've done in your green juices. There is not a more perfect food on the planet. It is a perfect protein and the most easily assimilable and digestible protein on the planet. And so that will help you to maintain your mass as well. All right? So there you go. Biochemistry 101. So tomorrow's the supplement protocol. And that's just as fascinating and demonstrates Dr. Gerson's brilliance. Okay? All right. That's it.